Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So not much change since the last video, but we came down from the high here, as expected, to the downside. And I told you that this could be a running flat pattern, which would mean that this wave 4 that you can see on the chart consisted of 3 waves. A, B, C, very similar to Bitcoin, would be a running flat pattern as it is. And after that, we start the wave down already here. It comes across quite impulsively. So wave 1 down, and we would then expect a wave 2 to the upside. And we see here some kind of a reaction to the trend line, to the ascending trend line. So we talked about a little bit of a reversal from down here, which happened, but it is not yet strong enough for a wave 2, or it would be a very, very weak wave 2. So we would see something like that, 1, 2. We would then come down in a wave 3, moved up in a wave 4, down in a 5, and that would complete really that last wave down. That is possible, but it could also be something different. And at the moment, it is important to keep options open, I think. It could also be similar to what you see on the chart and what I expect for Bitcoin as well as one of the options. There are 2 options for Bitcoin as well, very similar. Both point out to the downside. These are actually my 2 most likely scenarios. So also here A, B, C, D, E, similar to Bitcoin. A coming down in a wave B, moving up in a C, down a D, up in an E. Could this already have been the wave E? Again, it would be very short. The wave E here would then indicate where actually the wave 4 finishes. And if we have a triangle, it would mean that actually the impulse to the downside hasn't actually really started, and we would then start after the wave E our move down. Okay, so these are the 2 patterns and Elliott wave patterns that I see as most likely at the moment. Both point actually to the downside, maybe after a little bit more upside here, constrained though by this triangle pattern. And again, it remains what I said in the previous video. Invalidation point for this triangle would be 1264 to the upside, and to the downside 1011. Now you wouldn't call actually the 1011 invalidation point, but you would violate the triangle to the downside, and that is actually what we want in this wave pattern. You would expect here a move to the downside, maybe again after a little bit more upside in a wave E or in a wave 2 as per the other scenario, and then a move down. And for me, it is quite likely that we move down like that, also given the what we're actually doing here, because we are currently moving in what could become a triangle pattern. And actually the next wave will determine it. The next wave, for example, to the upside will determine what's going to happen, because it could just break out to the upside, then the triangle would be invalidated, and we would need to possibly look at a bullish scenario. However, until we make a higher high, it doesn't make any sense to sketch here a breakout scenario, because we still have made lower highs. The wave C here that you can see here is a lower high compared to the wave A. This is at the moment not bullish at all, and this move up here comes across as very much 3 wave like to me, which is pretty much a C wave here in triangle. So for now, I remain quite bearish, short term at least, because also we have come down here very strong in this downtrend, and a symmetrical triangle would rather be considered as a trend continuation pattern, which would go down. If we go and move up, I would want screaming price action above 1264, then we can consider it. And if we then see here on the indicators that we see some upside, and this is something that could definitely happen, then we need to be more open to the idea that the downtrend could be over. Because, for example, here on the 8-hour chart, similar to Bitcoin, you currently start to see the MACD on the 8-hour start to move to the upside. Now, if this translates over onto the daily, that could give us the momentum to bring the daily RSI at the daily MACD to the upside as well. And if we see this could really push further upside. Looking at the MACD in general, we can see here that we've made here a bullish divergence on the MACD line since pretty much that swing low in January. So we're making lower lows on the price chart, but higher lows on the MACD. That is something that could give us an indication that the as soon as we turn to the upside here on the MACD, that this could lead to upside momentum. And the 4-day chart as well, similar to Bitcoin, we have here a bullish divergence between these two lows, where we have made actually higher lows on the MACD, but lower lows on the price chart. And again, similar to Bitcoin, I did explain these indicators there in a little bit more detail. As soon as we have these bullish divergences and the indicators turn bullish as well, then together with some price action, it could really give us the momentum, and we could be more confident in saying that the downtrend might be over. At the moment though, as long as we are in this triangle pattern or in this current corrective flat pattern, whatever it will be in the end, I have to be focusing further on downside against the 1265 level. And then we are looking at something around $800 to $900, I would say, in the worst case, and that would be the absolute worst case. And to be honest, I wouldn't have thought we get there. And of course, it's not confirmed that we get there, but we're talking here about the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level, which is at $616. I mean, at the moment, we are still above the 78.6, which is at 1075. But if you lose that and we lose the $1,000, then I think it is very likely that we're going to see the 88.7% Fib level. It is at least within the scope of possibilities. But there are some extensions, Fibonacci extensions, that also point to 800 to 900 as possible targets. So they are all valuable targets. We just need to be a bit open now. And the key message here is, as long as we still are in the downtrend, we have to remain our focus on lower prices. This is unfortunately as it is, because if you do expect higher prices while we're still going down, it is nothing than a gamble. You know, you're speculating. But we want to look for evidence, ideally. That is, I think, what will help us to understand if we are finally starting to go up from here or not. And as long as we are still in the triangle, sideways range is the plan here, until we then break to the downside, which would be my primary expectation. But I think also we are very close to the low. You need to bear in mind, we've been coming from all-time high levels, and I've been focusing on lower prices since November, December. So it has been spot on in a sense. And this is sort of, for me, like the last bit. And for me, it's actually already, the whole scenario is fulfilled, I'm just waiting now for the turnaround. And I'm not too interested, it's wrong, I don't want to say I'm not too interested, but if we now dip another 10% or 20% from here, it is not that significant, because we've come all the way from the all-time high, and that's the same thing for Bitcoin and many altcoins, so it's worked out so far, and it will work out in the future. So just need to work out for that. Well, we just need to wait for a signal that we can reverse, because we are now in a price range where at any point in time, Ethereum could try a breakout, and I will make you aware as soon as this happens. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.